Together we'll see who dies and survives, circled around a sacred fire, strumming along with our favorite lyre. Adventure called the quest awaits, your destiny's in the hands of the fates. But never fear, we're all friends here, we'll have your back when danger's near. Come with us through the pages as we unravel a tale for the ages into the Percy-Verse.
Hello and welcome to the Percy-Verse podcast. I'm Alisa.
And I'm Anna. Launch Attack Plan Macedonia, because today we're reading Chapter 15, Nobody Gets the Fleece. In this chapter, Percy and Clarisse actually work together, a long-lost friend returns, and we witness the fleece's magical powers in action.
We do indeed.
Finally.
And we also get many a nobody joke. This is where
so many.
We've reached the pinnacle of all of the
If you hadn't been
jokes. Catching
on before, you will by the end of this chapter be pretty certain that it's a joke.
Yes. So we pick up right where chapter 14 left off. Again, kind of like continuing the theme of this book of like one chapter flows immediately into the next. We have very, very few time jumps, cut to next scene type situations in this book. So Polyphemus has returned, exclaiming that he got nobody, also known as Annabeth. And at first it looks like he's just holding empty air until he shakes her and her, invisibility cap falls off. And she's revealed to be hanging upside down by her legs. So in a very precarious position, in a lot of danger. And
already wounded, already hurt.
Yes. And Polyphemus says that he's going to eat Annabeth, grill her with the mango chutney. And
specifically because she is too feisty to be a wife, which layers there, Lord.
Yes. Continuing, okay. See previous
rants.
Yes, podcast episode. And Annabeth is looking real rough. She has a nasty cut on her forehead, and her eyes are glassy, which is not a good sign. She's gotta be concussed,
it's scary.
Probably barely. Maybe coming in and out of consciousness, and it's about to get a lot worse for her, unfortunately.
I know, I hate this. It hurts me.
Yeah. But then we have a very fascinating moment where Percy is, kind of jumping into gear, trying to say, what he's gonna do, but Clarisse and Grover are in immediate agreement about what needs to happen. They both shut down Percy's idea of Percy rushing Polyphemus and Grover and Clarisse kind of making a run for it. And both Clarisse and Grover are no, we are all taking him together. That is going to be the plan. This together.
Yeah,
another Disney property.
Wow.
The crossover everyone has been dying for, the early 2000s crossover.
Percy Jackson meets High School Musical. This is a thing. I suppose
Percy Jackson the musical.
Yeah, there is Percy Jackson the musical, so I suppose that has happened. But I don't know if it's quite High School Musical vibes. So there's not enough basketball for one thing.
Right. Yeah, I guess it's, we've got dodgeball rather than basketball,
Maybe I'll think about it. Yep. That could maybe work. I don't think it's in the musical though. They need to add it as a new song.
Yeah, the musical is just book one, I think, right? From my understanding. So
yeah, I think so too. Yeah. Okay, we'll work on
that. I was just thinking that would be really fun to have a series of musicals. To adapt a whole book series into book one is one musical, book two is another musical, and be able to
it would be fun to do. They have 10-minute musicals. It would be really fun to make it a mini series of 10-minute musicals.
That would be really fun. Yeah,
something to think about.
We digression aside, they Grover and Cleese in agreement. Percy can't believe that Grover and Cleese in agreement, and I don't think they can. Everyone's kind of
Yep.
shocked
Yep.
in
Yep.
this
Yep.
moment.
It's kind of a big part of this chapter.
Yes, but Percy is still very much, he's in like leader mode, I feel like,
Yes,
in this
he is.
chapter. Like,
He's like, I am the main character.
right.
I
Yes.
am, lest you forget.
And so, per your intro, he calls Attack Plan Macedonia, and
Yep.
because they were all in the same training classes at Camp Half-Blood, they all immediately understand what he's talking about, which
I do
is
like that
great.
that pays off.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I like that we maybe don't see every minutia of training, montage, detail, whatever that happens at camp, but I really like that we get to see it implemented in the real world.
Yeah.
And we get to see how it's useful that they are able to like call a play like this together and all know what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. And I continue to think about Camp Jupiter and kind of the parallels, the similarities, the differences, and I feel like a cool thing that both have is they do train with like attack plans and formations, and
Yes.
even though their styles are different, that is one thing that both camps really do, which I think is a great like it's a great thing because then if you're campers out in the wild, whether on a quest or just, out and you have to like you're rushed into some sort of battle or fight situation,
Yeah.
being able to have everyone immediately on the same page, call one word or,
Yep.
thing out and everyone knows what's going to happen would be like life-saving, and
Absolutely.
so both camps doing that, even though they're in their own ways and their own styles, I think makes a lot of sense. And it is cool to see
it's very cool.
in action.
Yeah, and it unites them within each camp because even though there is animosity between some of the actors here that are going to do this fighting sequence, this is something they have in common.
Yep. It gets them immediately on the same team, on the same page, united together. And the Macedonia plan is basically Percy holding Polyphemus's attention while Clarice and Grover sneak around either side and attack from the flanks, basically.
Yep.
And that's what they kind of put into effect. Into Percy, to try to keep Polyphemus's attention, is saying that he's actually nobody and he's shouting insults at Polyphemus. And, he says his aren't quite as good as Annabeth's, but it's all he could think of in the moment. And the good news is that he gets Polyphemus's attention and Polyphemus lets go of Annabeth, but that's also the bad news because Polyphemus drops Annabeth.
Head first.
Head first onto the rocks. And she proceeds to lay motionless as a rag doll.
I'm just like, this girl is like, in any other circumstances,
alive?
this girl is dead. She is dead. Like, they're resurrecting her with the fleece later. Like, this is wild. I don't know. I would not want to be in Annabeth's shoes during this fight. It's interesting because Annabeth has been like the MVP of a lot of this book, and she is just out cold for this whole last section here. Like, she is in really dire straits. I do have to say my favorite line that Percy yells is, "I'm nobody and I'm proud of it," which I almost want to put on a t-shirt because I think it's really funny with nobody capitalized.
That is great. And so now the like attack plan Macedonia commences with Polyphemus rushing towards Percy, Grover and Clarice on either side, Grover shouting "For Pan," which I love. I think it's a great reminder of
holding a sheep bone.
Yes,
Which I think is actually quite interesting, partly because Grover's like a vegetarian.
Right.
So for him to be like fighting with an animal bone would be very unusual. But I think it's a bummer that Clarice and Percy couldn't find a better weapon for him, because I feel like it's obvious it wasn't going to do very much,
Right. Yeah. Especially because it's not like sharpened into something, and Polyphemus is so huge.
Yeah. Like maybe Percy could have at least lobbed off parts of the end of it to make it a point or something with Riptide. I just feel like we could have done something, because otherwise poor
Right.
Grover's been just like, captured by this by this Cyclops, and then he doesn't even have an effective weapon to use to charge in
Yeah.
against him. It's kind of a
Yeah.
bummer.
Yeah. No, it is. But I love that he shouts for Pan. It felt like a nice
Yeah.
reminder of like uh the impetus of all of this for Grover, and that his
Yep.
quest for Pan is what found them the Golden Fleece, and like how all
Absolutely.
of that ties together. And I think a nice reminder to the reader that that is still something deeply important to Grover,
Yep.
and that's not something that he's going to be letting go of anytime soon. And um so yeah, Grover doesn't really do much with the sheep bone. Clarice gets a little bit in with her spear.
Yeah, totally.
She's Clarice is quite impressive
Yes.
in this fight. And Percy moves in with Riptide, and he's discovering, it was kind of making me think of like in D&D when you're taking on like the big bad and you're just having to like chip away slowly at their hit points, and it's
Right.
taking a long
Yes. A
time. I was like,
lot of this is very video game. There's a
yeah.
moment later that's so Breath of the Wild. It's so funny. But so I have a question as we go through this chapter of scale
Yeah.
that relates
Yes,
to what
yes.
Clarice is able to do.
Right.
So we have been told, and let me know if I'm wrong, that Polyphemus is 15 feet tall.
Yes.
Okay. Annabeth is not in this fight, so I'm not gonna harp on her height. That can be, Percy might be much shorter than Annabeth. That's very possible. But 15 feet, as we've discussed before, is not that tall. Like 2 basketball players or something, right?
Right.
So Clarice has a spear, I assume a spear is like the height of Clarice at least.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what she does manage to do is put the spear on the ground so that Polyphemus steps on it.
Mm-hmm.
But he just takes it out of his foot like a large splinter.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't comprehend the scale here, because when you tell
Yeah.
me, and I think this is why I always thought he was bigger.
Yes.
When you tell me the spear that is as tall as a 12-year-old or however old, Clarice is older than Percy, right? Maybe 13-year-old or 14.
Maybe. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
some kind of middle school age kid. A spear that tall would be like a quarter of his height.
Uh-huh.
At least.
Right.
Which
right.
would have to go straight through his foot.
Yeah.
And would not be called a splinter size. That's kind of
Yeah.
my issue. Unless Clarice's
Yes.
spear is like
Small.
so small. Like,
I know.
the length of her arm or something, which I can't imagine.
I know. I had a similar question and issue. It was making me think of, and when we first get the description of Polyphemus, that he's like swatting at, I think it's with the lampposts, right? And
Yeah.
it's described as like swatting it like a fly. And I'm like, oh my God, you'd have to be like massive for like a lamppost
Yes.
to be something you can just swat at. And then that him only being 15 feet tall, I was like, wait, that's not really
That scale.
coming together.
It's like 15 feet was a typo in the book or something. Because
Yeah.
in every physical description, it's like they meant to put 50 feet or something.
Right. Yes.
Because in
yes.
every description of him, it's like spears or like
Mm-hmm.
splinters, not even toothpicks.
Right, right.
Like, yeah, you could get a big
splinter's
splinter in
tiny.
your finger, but splinters are like,
Yeah.
that comparison is meant to be very, very small.
Right.
So
right.
I don't know. I almost want to, in my head, imagine that he is like, maybe not 50, because Percy is able to stab him in the belly.
Right.
Again, it's just that the scale is
Yeah.
wonky. It like keeps
Yes.
oscillating, and we can just track it through the chapter, but I'm confused about this guy's
Yeah.
height.
No, I agree. And it's making me think of on one of our shorts we did get a comment from someone kind of making a joke at like how Rick Riordan is known for not having the best consistency with details.
Sure.
And you know,
Yes.
like I think the comment was under the when we had the same issue with Annabeth, her dagger, and that like it was coming
Yeah.
through the other side, and so like
Right.
how like her arm would have
goes
had
all the
to
way
have
through.
also follow through with the dagger, and that doesn't make complete sense. And so I think
Yep.
this book is where we're getting more of those, like, wait, hold on a second. How is
Yeah.
all of
Like, how
this?
tall is this guy? I
Right.
just feel like, like, you would think, we talked about this in the past, but I would think that'd be something an editor would do, would be to help you, like,
Yeah.
get a sense of the height of your character. And, that
Right.
feels like a
Yeah.
basic thing. But I don't
And
know. Annabeth's height is up for debate, too, so there's things. Never
well,
forget.
and you won't let that go, and you never will. And
No,
and I know
nope,
that you never will.
nope, nope. If you have to be stretched 3 inches to be 6 feet, the math is quite simple. It's
I
just
feel
what it
like
is.
you need to make like Annabeth is 5'9".
Truther. Yeah. Annabeth Truther shirts. Annabeth is, in fact, 5'9". Just draw
At
her
12
like.
years old.
I want to. Okay, no, I do actually want to make a graphic that shows if Polyphemus is 15 feet tall
Right.
and Annabeth is 5'9", and Percy is whatever the average 12-year-old is,
Right, right.
what that scale comparison looks like. Like, it's in the text.
Yeah. Oh, goodness.
Okay, I'll work on that graphic. That would be awesome.
But yes, unless it's like the large splinter, unless this is all a bit of like hyperbole to more so show like his
Sure.
strength and that like he has
That it
a lot
didn't
of
bother
HP,
him. And maybe,
Um,
maybe his foot, his skin is so thick that even
Right.
a spear that big, like, can't penetrate very far. So then it only
Yeah.
went in as much as a splinter. We can
Right.
explain it different ways. We'll go through this and it'll be a little confusing. So I just wanted
Yes.
to say it here because this is one of the first places that I felt like, how big is this guy?
Yeah. No, I agree. And Percy's able to stab him in the thigh, and he's hoping to see him disintegrate, but
Yeah.
again, Polyphemus, too many hit points. He's still
Tough
here.
dude.
He's not going anywhere anytime soon. And so this is where Percy directs Grover to get Annabeth, basically, like now that she's just a crumpled up rag doll on the floor,
Yeah.
not able to move. Percy's like, okay, we got to get someone on Annabeth, making sure that she's not going to get even more unbelievably injured.
Yes.
And him and Clarice basically kind of
Tag team.
exactly tag team Polyphemus. And this is where I got my little bone to pick with Percy, where I'm like, I get it, and also
Yeah.
where he's like, I have to admit Clarice was brave, and I'm like,
I
my guy,
know.
she's a daughter of Ares. Like,
Also,
what
like,
else do you
through
expect?
this whole book, Clarice has been nothing but brave, and you
Yeah.
have seen her do it so many times. Like, it does feel a little bit like, are we still on this? Like,
Yeah.
after the events of this whole book?
Yeah, and I think it is like just that, like I come back to she did very actively bully him, and they were 12, they are now like 13, she's maybe what, 14ish. Like at that age, I mean even now as an adult, you can hold on to stuff, for a long time.
Absolutely.
So like I do think it makes sense that he is still like struggling to acknowledge Clarissa's strengths, and
Totally.
like her abilities, because
Totally.
I think all that
There's
her-
resentment.
yeah, is very much
That's
still
valid.
there. And at the same time, there's just a part of me that's like, come on, man.
I know. Yeah.
But also, it's like my adult brain with also the full knowledge of the whole series and how much she's going to change. And so
I think
there's
it's
that
like,
too.
I think for me, it's the gender thing. I think for me, it's like the question of if Percy was bullied by a guy, or even thinking about like, I could never imagine Percy saying, I have to admit, Luke was brave as he fought
Right.
me. Like, I think it's because bravery is a quality stereotypically associated with boys and not girls,
Yeah.
etc. in the binary, that I feel like that's why it irks me more than
Agree.
like understanding the history of the bullying, which is super valid. It's more like the word choice and the gender piece of it that again, like, also would be like, it's both and. Like, it's both annoying for that reason, and
Mm-hmm.
it's also probably realistic for that reason. That,
Absolutely.
like, he
Yeah.
would have
Yeah.
that bias. It's just
Yeah.
that I think that's why it bugs me most.
Yeah. I get that. I get that. I think I feel you on that um as well. Um, and so, yeah, Clarice is like, she is just strike after strike after strike, moving too
Yeah.
quickly before Polyphemus can get her, attacking again, attacking again. Percy following up with getting wherever he can get the toe, the ankle, which again, I'm like, if
See,
you're
that's
striking
why I'm
someone's
saying
toe, the scale of being
the
able to be like a toe
scale.
is a
The
target.
fact that he, like,
I know, I know. He's
unless
like, 15 feet
Polyphemus is
tall.
15 feet tall with giant feet.
Right. Like
Like, his,
hobbit-sized feet, scale-wise.
yeah, scale wise. So the feet themselves are like, but even if a foot is 2 feet long, do you
Uh-huh.
know it's a toe? Maybe. I don't know. The scale. The, yeah,
Yeah,
the
yes.
stabbing of the toes and the ankles. But then he
Yeah.
also says the hands, right? So
Right.
then the
He's
hands
able
do
to
have to
reach
be
it.
low enough,
Mm-hmm.
which if he is 15 feet tall, your hands go, what, like a little more than half down your body,
Mm-hmm.
maybe? So,
Yeah.
like, that would be like 6 feet. And so
Right.
then, you could jump
With
and
the
stab
reach
him.
of, yeah.
It's like the toe makes no sense. The hands make sense. What is the scale? Okay.
We'll never know.
We'll never know.
We will never know.
Yep.
But yeah, and at this point, Percy is kind of realizing that him and Clarice cannot keep this up. Like, they're gonna tire out, either slip up, or Polyphemus is gonna get a shot in. Like,
Yeah.
they're at the stage of like, all it takes is just one little thing, and we're screwed in this fight.
Yep.
But Grover has made it carrying Annabeth to the rope bridge and is carrying her across, which is excellent. Like, great thinking on Grover's part of just like, get her, as far away as possible. Even though the dangerous carnivorous sheep are on the other side, it's like,
Yeah.
better than where the active battle is.
Yes, exactly.
And Percy has the idea essentially for Clarice and him to go run across the rope bridge and ideally cut it and snap it before Polyphemus can like
Yep.
get across as well. And so they try to put this plan into action. They're running. Polyphemus is running after them. He communicates this to Grover by telling Grover to like get Annabeth's knife. Grover's like locked in. He immediately understands, starts trying to cut the bridge as Percy and Clarice are running across it. And there's like dramatic a moment where Percy and Clarice, they jump, they make it. Percy like slices the other part of the bridge.
Yeah.
It falls. And there's this like second where it's like, okay, like maybe we did it. Like, and then they did not, because
They did
Polyphemus made it and he's standing right next to them. And now the rope bridge has been cut.
It's such a funny, like, surprise, I'm putting in air quotes, because it only works because it's a book. Because if you were watching this, like, in a movie, then, like, you would see that he's there. It's not like he's, like, off the edge of the cliff. You look down and you see him, and then he, like, jumps up. Right?
Yeah.
But, like, it only works because we, the reader, can't see the scene. It's kind of a funny thing. But I have to say, this whole scene, I've been just like, I just picture like Shrek this whole time.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
I just couldn't not do that. And I don't know if I know which one came first, this book or Shrek, but the scene with Shrek and Donkey and the bridge is just like ingrained in my mind so much that that's what I was picturing this whole time.
Oh,
especially
yes,
when
absolutely.
Polyphemus comes on, because Shrek moves the bridge very, like, swinging it and stuff intentionally with Donkey to scare him, to make him go forward.
Yes. Yeah. And Polyphemus is gleefully cheering that nobody failed. The plan didn't work. He's there. And Percy gets incredibly angry because Clarice and Grover charge Polyphemus, but he swats them aside like flies. Again, question of scale. He's
Question of
flying.
scale.
But
I guess that could be hyperbole, like a splinter,
Right.
but yes, question of scale.
yeah, and this is where Percy is I think this feels like a moment of like shifting kind
Yes.
of, and Percy like unlocks something. I wanted to ask you like where you think this comes from.
Yeah.
Because he gets incredibly angry and he says nobody's going to swat down my friends like that, and then we get the joke of, I mean, nobody lowercase n, not nobody capital N, and
Yep, yep,
he's
yep,
like,
yep.
whatever, you know what I mean. And there's this strength that courses through his body. He attacks, forgetting that he's hopelessly outmatched. He gets Polyphemus in the
Mm-hmm.
belly. When Polyphemus doubles over, smacks him in the nose with the hilt of his sword. He's slashing, he's kicking and bashing until the next thing he knows, Polyphemus is sprawled on his back, dazed and groaning, and Percy is standing above him with the tip of his sword hovering over his eye, with the ability to kill Polyphemus in this moment.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
he's like, he's not standing in water. Like, there's
No.
nothing like that. There's just something. It's like he levels up, like in the middle of this fight or something. And I was curious if you had any thoughts, apart from like, friends are in danger,
Yeah.
I must protect my friends, which is always a strong piece with Percy, but just like
Totally.
where this comes from, because it shocks Grover. Like, Grover doesn't understand
Yeah,
how
yeah, yeah,
Percy did this,
totally.
and Percy doesn't either.
Before I answer that, I do have to point out this, like, you know what I mean about nobody is one of the first times that Percy has talked directly to the reader in a long time.
Yeah, true.
And
Yes, yes,
it's
yes.
interesting and weird. Like, I was just trying to figure out, like, this is an interesting, weird moment. If I want to, like, like, meta analyze it, I'm like, does that have anything to do with it? Because that happens right before.
Oh.
So I'm like, does he draw strength from the reader or something? Like that
Oh.
would be like a really crazy theory, but
Yeah.
that's just a thought that comes to mind. Because it is just very notable that he hasn't talked
Yeah.
directly to us in a very, very long time.
Yeah. It it would be fun to go back and see like when he does talk directly to the reader in a
Are there any
battle.
patterns? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's something we could keep an eye out for and like look back at the Lightning Thief. So I don't know. It just they're right beside each other, like this unusual strength and talking to us for the first time in a really long
Yeah.
time happen right beside each other. So it's just
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
Um, I think the other question I would have is like, is this a demigod thing? So basically,
Mm,
like the way that, and I don't know D&D super well enough, but like they're the like Grog's character who can
yeah.
go into rage mode.
Because he's a barbarian. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's the class that can do that is barbarian. Okay, great. So basically, what I'm thinking of is like in my head, I'm trying to imagine other times that other demigods have like even Clarice in the last book have like
Right.
gone into rage mode and it like
Yeah.
whether it permanently or temporarily levels them up and like they're able to accomplish a feat beyond what they normally could because
Right,
I
right.
feel like if we're thinking of the Greek stories, like the hero stories, we're thinking of heroes who can often accomplish feats beyond not just a mortal but like reaching toward godhood, right? Because they're
Yeah.
demigods, and so a lot of the time, and so I just wonder, is this a demigod thing? And we just only
Yeah.
get Percy's POV, so we don't really get to like experience the internals of that from any other character. But there might be other times we actually are witnessing this. We just don't realize it.
Yeah. Well, and it's making me think of in The Last Olympian when Clarice is so angry after
Selena.
Selena
That's what I'm.
dies.
Yes, yes, that's the
and
scene I was
and
referencing.
it yeah, and it gets her so like Percy can actually start to see like there's like a glow or something. I can't remember
Yes,
the exact
yes.
description, but it's like so intense that Percy can actually like see that she is
Yes.
like in that power. So yeah, I do like that as a theory that like all demigods kind of possess this ability. What to like enter that mode. What I'm really curious about is if it's always like instigated by rage. Like that's what I want to
Right,
pay
right,
attention to
right,
because
right,
these
right.
two
Like,
examples
is it rage
are,
mode? Yeah.
and they very much are this intense rage, and that is what like unlocks this strength and power. So I want to like try to take note of that,
Yeah.
if we see it in the future.
Yeah, I agree. I think that would be interesting to
Which
figure out.
I do think is a very, this might be like a kind of separate video, and I want to think about this idea more, but I do think there's an interesting analysis of anger and rage in these books,
Totally.
and like how in this instance it's serving as fuel and energy, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it is unleashed onto Polyphemus, right? But
Right.
like, I don't know, I just think there's a very interesting kind of exploration of that in these books, and I feel like I'd love to like sit with that and think about it more, and kind of like, yeah, see how age and, oh my gosh, rage and anger,
Yeah.
um
Well, and they often are tied to Aries, but it would also be
mhm,
cool to look at which gods this is associated with, and then like how those connections, like how it might
yeah,
function then based on some of those qualities. Another example I'm thinking of is when Nico raises skeletons for the first time.
yeah,
That feels like an example because that's like a
very
new skill
much.
unlocked kind of thing. And I think
Hmm.
that's also like an anger or rage kind
It
of moment.
absolutely is, yes.
Let us know in the comments if you can think of other times that demigods are reaching this like new level unlocked, at least temporarily mode, and if
Yeah,
it's related to anger and rage or not.
I
Because
mean,
I'm
in
sure other
in
people can think of
Labyrinth, I
more.
feel like Percy does get very angry and filled with rage at the volcano at that forge. I feel like I
Uh
remember that
huh.
description, where then he like, unleashes
Yeah.
it all and goes to
Yep.
Calypso. But I do feel like I remember him being very angry because they're um like he feels like they're desecrating
Right.
like that place. I feel like I remember.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um
Yeah. Interesting.
mhm, mhm.
Cool.
Um so yeah, Percy has like at this point in this battle now single-handedly taken
Yeah.
down Polyphemus and is standing there with the ability to disintegrate him. And this is where Polyphemus like switches up
Yep.
his emotional,
Tactics.
yep, and switches from this like gleeful delight at "ha, I've got you" to moaning and pitifully staring up at Percy, a tear welling in the corner of his eye, saying that his sheepies need him and that he's only trying to protect his sheep, and he begins to sob. And Clarice is like, take him out. What are you waiting
Yep.
for? Like, she is very much like, we are Ares, we defeat our
Kill the
enemy.
beast. Yes.
Yes. And even Grover is saying he's a Cyclops, don't trust him.
Yeah.
And Percy knows that Grover's right, and he knows that Annabeth would have said the same thing as Grover. But as Polyphemus is sobbing, for the first time, Percy really processes and realizes that Polyphemus is a son of Poseidon, just like Tyson is,
Yes.
just like Percy is. And it's our first time really experiencing Percy be torn, and
Yes.
not just seeing a like quote unquote monster as a monster that he has no qualms about killing and disintegrating, and
Mm-hmm.
instead seeing as more like complex than just
It's
like evil
almost
to be
like,
destroyed.
yeah, a reversal of that Percy that came about in the Lightning Thief to
Yeah.
trap Krusty, for example, and was doing a manipulation toward the monster
Mm-hmm.
character. It's kind of being inverted with him
Yeah.
right now. But I think that it's also just a huge culmination of the journey Percy's been through with Tyson.
Yep.
Which this I think this is a very profound moment for Percy.
Yeah, yeah, and I think it really shows his growth. Because I
Yes.
think at the beginning of this book, he would have not hesitated for a second. He
No,
would have
not
brought the
even a
sword
little
down all the
bit.
way through.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Um, and so he tells Polyphemus that they just want the fleece, and he asks if Polyphemus will agree to let them take it. And Clarice again is like, "No, what are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Take him
He
out."
doesn't even make him swear on the river Styx. I'm like, there are mechanics in your universe
Yeah.
that would like make there be consequences or
Mm-hmm.
make him come, like tell you the truth about his intentions, but like
Yes.
he doesn't even try anything like that.
I
He's just
know.
like,
I know.
"Will you do this thing?"
Yeah, I feel like Percy is so in that like emotional growth moment that he kind of
Yeah.
forgets You know, like, he doesn't
Totally.
have Annabeth's brain of, like, remembering all the tools available to me at all
Right.
times. Um, and, Polyphemus is still putting on the show, sniffling, saying, take it, cruel human, take it and go in peace. And Percy's like, okay, but one false move. And initially it seems like maybe this has worked until Percy steps back, and as fast as a cobra, Polyphemus smacks Percy to the edge of the cliff and is immediately back to, like, gleeful, haha, I've defeated you.
Yes, foolish mortal.
Yes, I will eat you. And he opens his mouth, and Percy gets a good view of these apparently rotten molars, which we've had a lot of teeth dental stuff.
We have.
This book.
Yeah, monsters need a better dental plan, is what
They need a dental hygienist. They need to get their regular cleanings. They need to...
like the braces weren't enough, you know?
No.
Yeah.
And then we get the moment that we've been waiting for so
The
many
big
chapters.
reveal.
As Polyphemus opens his mouth, something whooshes over Percy's head, and a rock the size of a basketball sails into Polyphemus's throat.
There's our basketball!
There is!
It is High School Musical! Awesome.
Again, we have another scale thing of, like, a basketball through an open mouth.
Of a 15-foot tall person.
You know.
Yep. It sails into his throat, through his mouth, nothing but net, meaning it hasn't even, like, touched those molars.
Right. Yes.
Either.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know.
Anyways, we have lots of things this chapter that are just kind of scale specific. I'm just kind of pointing them out. Yes.
Yes.
And Polyphemus starts choking. He's trying to swallow. Percy calls the unexpected pill, which I think is funny.
Yeah.
He's staggering backwards, but there's no place for him to stagger to. His heel slips and the edge of the cliff crumbles, and Polyphemus, I love the description of the great Polyphemus made chicken wing motions that did nothing to help him fly. As he tumbles into the chasm, and Percy turns to see halfway down the path to the beach, standing completely unharmed in the midst of the flock of killer sheep, is Tyson. He lives. It was like just Easter, so I'm like, he has risen.
Yeah, there's even a cave with a rock that slides back and forth.
I know.
That's so funny.
And Tyson says,
Man, everyone is Jesus in this series. That makes Tyson Jesus.
Yes. We've got
everyone. We've got many competing Jesuses.
And he says, not all Cyclops are as nice as we look.
Yeah.
Which I think I kind of like that, because Percy had so much what felt kind of like disgust regarding Tyson's appearance.
Totally.
And so I like that Tyson is like,
I do too.
You know, in saying that, he's referencing that his physical appearance demonstrates how nice, like, he is as nice on the inside as he is on the outside.
Yeah. He's
and
like,
so
we're really
kind of
cute, but like some of us are like lying.
Right.
But like,
right.
we're really cute, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Never forget. We're adorable.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. He's not wrong. And then I have to say, I like almost wish that, I wish two things. One is I wish that Tyson was like, had a little bit more time in the fight. Like, I think, I think it happens so quickly. You're just like, what? And then also, I really, really wish that we took a moment for Percy's emotional reaction. Because Percy has spent this whole book just like torturing himself over the fact that he thinks Tyson is dead. Like, hoping and losing hope and hoping and losing hope and just like being distraught. And so for me, it was like such a, like, I don't know, like quick jerking into like, oh, here's the background of what happened. Like, it's just like Tyson gave us the short version. I was like, I don't want the short version. I want like this chapter is so short. It's like 10 pages.
Yeah.
Tell me how Percy feels at
Right.
seeing Tyson.
Yeah.
We get no description of like that initial moment.
Yeah. Yeah. We do. And I don't know if part of that is, they jump immediately after Tyson gives a short version of events. They do jump immediately into like Annabeth, I think, is dying. We need to help her.
For sure,
Like,
yes.
I don't know if it's maybe still the frenzy, but I do agree that so much of this book has been colored emotionally by how Percy feels about Tyson.
Yes.
In the beginning, negative, then after his death, like remorseful and apologetic and wishing he could have more time back and, do it all over again and like do things differently. That, yeah, I agree. It is
like it could have been
fast.
one sentence. Like,
yeah.
Like, I felt whatever in my stomach as I ran to my best friend and brother or something. And then he gives us the short version. Right. I was like, the emotional beat is missing.
Yeah.
And it feels like it undoes some of the climax of this moment. Mm-hmm. Of Tyson, like, swooping in to save the day. So, anyway, that's just what I wish we had a reaction of. But the short version that Tyson gives is that Rainbow, which we'll get back to Rainbow later, I think. Rainbow the hippocampus, who'd been apparently following us ever since Long Island Sound, and he was waiting for Tyson to play with him, which is adorable. Like, adorable.
Tyson just makes friends with all the creatures. Like Rainbow, him and Ella fall in love.
Because he is as nice as he seems. Like, he's right. Yes. And
he's your
basically,
friendly neighborhood Cyclops. Sorry,
he is your friendly neighborhood Cyclops. I love that. I'm done. I love that. No,
just
that's
from
great.
New York City. All
that's perfect. Honestly, that's also a shirt. Your friendly neighborhood Cyclops. That's adorable. Or it I kind of want to do like a theme song of Tyson, the friendly neighborhood Cyclops. I feel like that'd be really cute.
And I know you didn't watch it, but like Disney did the little like Baymax like shorts of like Baymax helping people throughout.
Yeah.
Oh, they don't call it San Francisco. They call it
San Fran Tokyo. I think,
San Fran Tokyo,
or something like that.
Yeah. I feel like there could be a little short series of like your friendly neighborhood Cyclops Tyson like going around helping. Like
that would be so cute.
Yeah.
But like he sort of accidentally puts himself in situations where he needs to help. Like, he doesn't mean to step into the middle of an armed robbery, but he like does, and then he just like resolves it, and they all end up like going for pizza afterwards, and they haven't actually stolen anything. Yeah,
and it always involves like magical like creatures and stuff.
Yep. I love it. Because it's also interesting, like, here, Tyson is standing in the midst of killer sheep, but because he smells like a Cyclops, like he is a Cyclops, they're not attacking him. So I feel like Tyson does have that really interesting ability to, like, traverse the demigod, mortal, and monster realms, or, like, groups of people. So I do feel like that adds to the idea of, like, how he could get into situations and out of them. Again, too.
Totally. Yeah, and he is, I was thinking, and there's a point later on where I'll like talk about this more, but how this book really does set up the very long multi-book, multi-series journey that like the world of demigods takes with the world of quote-unquote monsters. And I feel like Tyson is the key that allows that journey to take place, because like you said, he traverses like every world. The bridge. And I think it's his relationship with Percy and then the dominoes that fall from there that allow for that exploration to really, really happen.
Totally.
So, yeah.
Totally. I'm excited for that. So, Tyson, when he's sinking below the wreckage of the CSS Birmingham, is pulled by Rainbow, the hippocampus, to safety. And they'd been searching the Sea of Monsters, trying to find everyone, but Tyson catches a scent of sheep. So again, that Cyclopsness kind of comes in super useful again. And that's how they find the island. And Percy, we have this moment where Percy wants to hug him. So like, we get that. I need a full emotional reaction. But he says, Tyson, thank the gods. Annabeth is hurt. And he's like, you thank the gods she is hurt?
I know. I love this.
Just like, yes, there's no nuance here.
Tyson
And
he's so literal, and
he's just so
it's
literal.
like he didn't hear the period,
He
the
did
end
not.
of sentence at thank the gods, and then
No.
new sentence, new topic, Annabeth is hurt.
Yep. He did not hear the period, and that was two sentences. And Percy's just like, no, and just goes to Annabeth. And yeah, it's rough. She's got
It's
a
so
gash
bad.
on her forehead that's worse than Percy realized. She's got blood in her hairline. Her skin is pale and clammy. I'm like, how is she even alive? Like, she already
No
had a
clue.
gash, and then she's dropped on her head, like, on
Yeah.
top of that. That just,
Yeah.
ugh. Like, demigods, I'm sure, have a little bit more, toughness
The
level.
constitution.
Like,
Yeah.
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 But still, this has been a lot.
Oh, I know. Well, and Annabeth, it really made me think about like how much Annabeth goes through physically in these books, like this
I
book,
know.
and
the
then
next
next book holding
I
up
know.
the sky. Like
I know.
that girl has a body that like will not break.
Yeah, absolutely. And a mind. Like,
Yeah.
this book, we really, really see a lot of her skills. And when we were talking about the, like, superhuman stuff, I was thinking about her holding up the sky. And I was like,
Yeah.
but, like, I don't even know if that's an example of her, like, leveling up. I just think
Right.
she's that strong.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
that is wild. Like, Annabeth is just so strong.
Yeah, and I just always come back to like how young she was when she ran away, and
Yep.
how strong she had to be in order to survive running away, making it to Talia and Luke. That whole period of time that she would have been by herself for, like that requires
Yep.
just enormous amounts of strength and resiliency.
And then training at camp longer than almost anyone.
Yeah,
Like there's some of her life experience leads to that. She also just might be strong kind of inherently. But strong of mind, strong of body, like so resilient. It is wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, she goes through too much in these books. She needs a break.
And then,
She's not going to get one yet for a
no,
while.
here's Olympus, and she's
Oh
really
my
not going to get a
gosh.
break. Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel for Annabeth. I really do. But Percy luckily gets an idea here. And he's like,
Yes.
wait, magic healing thing exists on this island. That's why we're here. What if we used it? And fortunately, Tyson has shown up just in the nick of time to be able to get to the fleece through the killer sheep. So lots of nice convenient things about Tyson showing up in this moment. He goes to get the golden fleece. Tyson's like, oh, pretty. Yes. 3 periods in that. Each word is its own sentence. And Tyson is able to then grab the fleece while the sheep are cuddling up and bleeding affectionately because they think that he has sheepy treats, which he does not. And then another interesting like strength question moment where Tyson throws the gold ram skin through the air like a glittering shag frisbee, and Percy catches it with a grunt. The worst that happens is a grunt. But it's heavier than he expected. 60 or 70 pounds of precious gold wool. And I'm like, he's like 13.
Yeah.
I feel like he should be flat on his back. Like, 60 or 70 pounds thrown by a cyclops who is, whatever he is, 7 feet, right?
Right, yeah. And just like orders of magnitude stronger than Percy is.
And he just goes, ugh. You know, like he doesn't like fall flat on his back, the wind knocked out. Like, I had a soccer ball that hit me in the chest at like this age, and I got the wind fully knocked out of me, couldn't breathe.
Yes.
And that was like soccer balls don't weigh very much.
No.
So, questions. I have questions. I am confusion. It's okay.
Also, the one like so nitpicky thing that isn't actually like a thing that I have with this chapter, but the chapter title is Nobody Gets the Fleece, which is like a fun play on like, I think, Annabeth played nobody, like she gets and wears the fleece. But like the one who actually like literally gets the fleece is Tyson, who didn't play the nobody game. Like he was actually not present for the nobody game.
True.
So I'm like, it is actually kind of Tyson gets the fleece.
The semantics aren't semanticking. That's true.
That's my one. Like, I love the chapter title because I think it's so fun, and there have been so many plays on Nobody, No One throughout this book, and and I think it's so great because you read it, and there's like maybe like a half a moment where you're like, wait, nobody gets it. Like, do you mean we leave without it? And then it's like, haha, no, it's just the fun joke.
It's
with
the
nobody.
play on words. I guess
I'm like,
you needed it to be called Nobody Ultimately Gets the Fleece.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
I can understand why they didn't go with the chapter title, but I also understand the semantics. Yeah. So they spread the fleece over Annabeth, and it covers everything but her face, which to me was kind of funny because that's like the main injured place on Annabeth is like her head.
I know.
You know?
The one thing that I did want to note is about what happens when Tyson takes the flea off of the branch is that immediately the leaves on the oak tree turn yellow. So that just shows like the fleece is immediate in terms of you take it off something, it loses the magic the fleece is providing to it, but also when you put it on something, the magic is immediate. Like there's
what's kind of interesting is it seems like if it heals something, it doesn't unheal something, but if it makes something like extra great, like maybe that tree started out with yellow leaves and it's just reverting back, but like Annabeth isn't going to go back to being in a state of about to die when the fleece comes off. So there's some kind of rule about like there's healing and then there's like extra amazing magic vibes. Yeah. And that's what you can't keep, I guess.
Yes. Yeah. Because when Percy does ask Annabeth like what's going to happen to the island, she does say like it will just go back to the way that it was before.
Yes.
But
but what I'm saying is Annabeth doesn't go back to the way she was before.
Yeah. And maybe that's because like I wonder if it's maybe
either
because the human body's natural state is not to be like to have a gash in her head, you know, like her technical, if it is to like return back to like what your normal like homeostasis is, like whatever that is for
if you read it that way. Yeah.
Like I think if you maybe read it that way, then it makes sense as to why Annabeth doesn't become like re-injured, but would just
I just feel like we're gonna read what happens and there's like an extra kind of glowy vibe that she gets, and it kind of makes sense to me that like you wouldn't have that, but
absolutely
that, if healing magic has been done, it wouldn't be like undone.
Yeah there's no like take backsies.
yeah exactly. It's just that extra oomph that you don't get to keep. So they put the fleece over Annabeth, and again covering everything but her face, which is just funny because
breathe.
I know, but all her injuries are on. I'm like, just put it right on her head. And Percy prays silently to all the gods he could think of, even the ones he doesn't like, which I think is kind of funny because he's like begrudgingly like, even Ares, can you please help save Annabeth?
yeah.
Which just shows you how important Annabeth is to him. And then this is kind of like Tyson being like, and then I'll tell you the short story. Like the color just returns to her face. Like it happens pretty quickly. Her eyelids flutter open, and they can even see the cut on her forehead beginning to close. So it's pretty quick healing magic. And then it's kind of funny because she sees Grover and says, "You're not married."
She's got jokes.
She's got jokes, and also, like, it just reminds you of how long ago Annabeth got hurt.
Right. Yeah.
Like, what state what the urgent crisis was. Because we've kind of gone past that being the thing we're focused on at this point. There's been other issues that are the main issues. Yeah. And then Grover also has jokes. He says, "No, my friends talked me out of it." Ha ha. Okay, and then Percy's like, "Annabeth, just lay still," which is funny because we haven't actually heard her or that she's gotten up or anything. It's just he's like, "Don't talk," and I'm like, "Don't tell her what to do. She's fine." But she ends up sitting up regardless, and the cut on her face is almost completely healed, and this is where we have this extra glow, which is what I'm saying. Maybe you don't get to keep. That she shimmered with health as if someone injected her with glitter, which is a funny description. Meanwhile, Tyson is having trouble with the sheepies because they're figuring out that he does not have sheepy snackies, which is an issue. And, you know, a few of them are sort of heading toward, like, remember, our heroes are on the side of the killer sheep.
Yes.
So he's trying to get them to, like, come away from the friends that we have here. And Percy is like, we have to go. The ship was really far away. They had destroyed the only bridge. And the only other possibility to get there is through the sheep.
Right.
And so he asked Tyson to lead the flock away as far as possible, saying that they want people food, which was kind of a funny descriptor, because, like, having cats, it's like you call people food like food that people eat, not people as food, not like Soylent Green. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I feel like it's just kind of funny that he's calling...
They want Soylent Green.
They want people food, you know? I don't know. To me, people food is like eggs. But anyway. Different context. And so Tyson's like, come, sheepies, people food this way. Like, okay. So he jogs off. The sheep do follow him. And, you know, they're used to following a Cyclops around, so it makes sense that this works. And again, like, Tyson's just MVPing all over this, you know, place. Like, he is definitely saving everybody right now.
Yes.
And then we learn that Annabeth is not fully healed yet, actually. Right. And Clarice, again, just being extremely competent at life and heroing, feels her chest, realizes that her ribs are broken. They're mending, but definitely broken. So it's interesting. Clarice can even feel that the fleece is helping mend Annabeth's broken ribs. And Percy's like, how can you tell? And I'm just like, Percy, can we just, like...
I know. What I do really like about Clarice being able to tell that is because I feel like it does make sense that, again, as a daughter of Ares, like, god of war, she would have an understanding of the injuries. And, you know, she says she knows because she's broken a few, like, herself. But I also just think it makes sense that, like, that's not something, like, exclusive to the Apollo, you know, healers.
Totally, I like that.
Who would understand, but that it's like, no, she's like, I've got battle experience, I know how to, like, it feels like she would have the understanding of, like, I'm blanking on what they're called, but, like, the medics who were, like, there, like, who are doing that, like, frontline work,
yes.
You know, like, it feels like she would have to be, like, enough base understanding to be like, okay, broken ribs, dislocated thing here, we need some stuff here. Totally. Okay, you know, like, that kind of, like, emergency, like, first response type stuff.
I agree. I think that's a great theory. I like, we've been kind of trying to identify some of the sort of additional powers that demigods have based on their parentage. So I think that's a really cool one that I agree with about Ares. Yeah. I think that's very interesting. So I like that idea. I like that theory. So, and then Clarice just carries Annabeth. Just, as we say here, like a sack of flour.
He's strong.
Clarice is so strong. Lugging her down to the beach, Grover and Percy are just, like, following. And they get to the water, and Percy is doing his, like, boat telepathic communication thing. And he's like, come to me, Queen Anne's Revenge. And Queen Anne's Revenge does come rounding the tip of the island, so that's really useful that Percy can just call a boat like a dog.
Yes.
And then Tyson yells, incoming! And he is coming down the path, bounding, in fact, down the path, and the sheep are 50 yards behind, which is a decent amount length that, you know, Tyson's running pretty fast.
Half of a football field.
Yeah, that's pretty far.
Yeah.
And Percy says that the sheep probably won't follow them into the water. They just have to swim for the ship. And Clarice is kind of like, Annabeth is, like, has mending ribs and has a golden fleece on her, like.
Yeah.
But Percy insists that they can do it, and he's starting to feel more confident because he's back in the water, and that's his home turf. And he says, once we get to the ship, we're home free, which might have been, like, speaking a little bit too soon here.
Counting those chickens before they hatch.
Yep. We almost made it to... They were waiting past the entrance to the ravine when they hear a tremendous roar and see Polyphemus, who is still alive, even though he's scraped up and bruised, with his baby blue wedding outfit in tatters, splashing toward them with a boulder in each hand, which means he's already in the sea. Like, it's not even like he's running. It's like all of a sudden he's in the water with them too. So we have another dun 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 ending.
Yes, we do. And a reminder of, like, this dude's got a lot of hit points.
Oh, yeah.
This dude is not going down easy.
Nope.
Nope. Fell off the side of the cliff, and that didn't take him out.
Yeah, and we, like, heard how steep some of these cliffs are. And, yeah, he is a resilient Cyclops. Mm-hmm. And that leads us to the end of chapter 15.
It does.
Any final thoughts?
I think, you know, I like that, again, as part of, like, I think this is a real book of, like, growth and, like, pushing Percy to grow in a lot of ways. I like that we get this culmination, not only with that moment of him, like, seeing Polyphemus as more than, like, just a monster, but also, like, collaborating with Clarice, like, far better than he did at the beginning with the Bulls, right? Because at the Bulls, he was so much like, just me, this is my strategy, and he kind of screwed over Clarice, like, as a result, and, like, wasn't working well with the team. But now, you know, like, they did the attack plan in Macedonia, like, they even, like, as the plan shifted a little bit, like, communicated either not at all or just, like, very simply, and worked incredibly well together. And so I really like that we're getting to see that, and all that growth is really paying off, and I think it lands, you know, and it works.
Like, his instinct is still to charge by himself, but he's willing to listen to others. And then once they're in that zone, he continues to, like, be a good teammate, which I think is both, like you're saying, good. Like, it feels satisfying as growth, but it also feels realistic as, like, he's not 180'd. Like, he's not like, oh, I'll always fight beside Clarice now, because we haven't earned that. But, like, you know, even if his first instinct is still to be like, I can do everything by myself, even though I clearly have not been able to do that at any point in this book. I think, you know, we get more listening.
Yes.
And even with Polyphemus, he's listening. Like, it turns out that, you know, it was a trap. And he kind of knows that when he's doing it, but he, like, wants to believe. And I do think, that's a really important moment for Percy from the Tyson growth perspective and from the monster growth perspective.
Yeah. Any last thoughts from you?
No, I'm just, I love a cliffhanger chapter ending. So I'm just like, ooh, what's next? Let's go. No, I'm excited. And also, like, we are technically off the island. Like, this, Nobody Gets the Fleece is a really important culmination also of just, like, yes, Polyphemus, we now know, is back and not dead in a chasm. But we have, a culmination of, like, the book too, like the plot line of the book. We have the Golden Fleece in hand. Yes. You know, so that also, I think, is almost obscured. It's almost like an afterthought. It's like,
absolutely,
gotten to heal Annabeth, which I do like, that it's not like we got it because, you know, we have to go save the camp, you know, go get item, come back, use item. Like, no, it was like, we got it off the tree because our friend is, like, in mortal peril right now. Yes. So I do like that we also have our culmination of the quest as well. Not in that it's all the way done, but that the thing we went to retrieve has been retrieved. Yes, so that too. That's fun. Yeah. Awesome. Well, then we will see you next time when we read Sea of Monsters, Chapter 16. I Go Down with the Ship. Bye.
Bye.